Good evening and welcome. I'm Sheila Balgobin, principal of Simply Improve Health, and I help people to train better and longer and recover more quickly, have improved sleep, and enjoy better quality of health using simple plant-based and native to the body products and simple techniques. This evening, it occurred to me that we talk about detoxing and decluttering and all kinds of things, but we're so busy running around doing things that we forget that sometimes our brains get on overload and need to be decluttered as well. So I thought it would be a good idea to share some ideas about how you can kind of empty your mind a little bit, come out of your mind and get into your body a little bit more, and come down to earth. With the internet and communication so quick these days, we're living in our heads, which can create problems because, the body and the mind are linked. So if we refresh our minds, we also refresh our bodies because it's quite often that people talk about being exhausted and tired. They're not talking so much about physically tired, they're mentally tired. They're just weary, worrying about the bills, worrying about the kids, worrying about whether they'll can get home from work or if they'll get home from work. People are just living in their heads, and need to de-stress, to declutter their brains a little bit. So today I thought I'd share just a few tips that may be helpful. Some of may be of interest or use to you, others may not. And I'll also be putting up, when this post goes up, um, a little video of some healing crystals that could be helpful in helping you to declutter your life. My first suggestion is to get a pet. Studies have already shown that for the elderly, that having just stroking a cat or a dog lowers their blood pressure by several points. And it's not just the elderly. It's taking care of a pet, having a pet gives us not only a sense of responsibility, but a sense of purpose, and gets us out for some exercise as well. But if you can't get a dog of your own, there are organizations such as, let me make sure I get this right, borrowmypetdoggy.com, believe it or not, which vets people to actually walk other people's dogs. So you don't have to have a dog of your own. But even having something as a goldfish or hamster, and having some that other creature to care for can help to relax us, for endorphins to be produced from the pleasure of just interacting with that pet. So that's one suggestion. Another suggestion, which has various benefits, is to give back, to give to others. If you're doing well, pass it forward. If someone has done a good turn for you, pass it forward. Volunteering is a great way not only to kind of get you to stop focusing on your own situation and to lend a helping hand to someone else. And I'll tell you what, for young people looking for work or anybody looking for work, volunteering is a good way to get a foot in the door. When I was training as an aromatherapist over 20 years ago, the first place that I worked as a volunteer to get experience as a therapist, I ended up working as a paid therapist for over 15 years. So that's, not only have the benefit of the satisfaction of helping someone else and helping you to focus on something other than your own situation and your woes in life, it may also net you some experience that will help you to get paid work. So volunteering, giving back, like they say, what goes around comes around, and if you give to others, it will come back to you in some form or other. So keep that in mind. Another thing that can be helpful to declutter your brain is to ditch the sugar. And I mean sugar in all forms. Is it sugar? If it's honey, if it's sugar is sugar is sugar is sugar, period. I mean, there are better qualities of sweeteners, more natural forms, but it all converts into sugar, which the liver will store as fat, period. So it's not good for you to have all that sugar. And then think about it. You get brain fog. Especially, about 4 o'clock in the afternoon at work, you start to flag because the sugar rush is worn off, so you need another hit. You're forcing your adrenals to constantly balance the amount of sugar in your system, which can wear them out and actually provoke diabetes. So try to get rid of the sugar. It'll also improve your concentration and your moods. For ladies, one of the things if you to avoid, especially when it's time for your period, is sugar, because it will make your symptoms worse because your system is too revved up. So just as a note. Another thing that you might consider doing is getting up a little bit earlier, catching that early worm. And the reason why is what studies have found that just getting up 1 hour earlier to either exercise or do meditation or to read a book actually increases your energy and reduces your stress. I know for me that it's great. I feel very energized just doing my morning yoga stretches to keep me limber and also to wake me up gently into my day. And I have to admit, when I don't do it, I feel the difference. So it does seem to give you an extra little bit of a boost to get you through the day. Meditation is another strategy that you can look into. It decreases anxiety and stress. Just 10 minutes a day, according to studies, is enough to do it. I know that I learned many years ago, at the behest of a friend, I learned transcendental meditation, or TM, and it was the best investment I ever made, because twice a day for 20 minutes, I would sit somewhere quietly and recite my mantra. And that was the equivalent in those 2 20-minute spots of 6 hours of sleep. But the downside of that is that you feel so and full of energy that you end up the danger is you end up taking on too much more and exhausting yourself all over again. But meditation is definitely will reduce the stress, will sharpen your mind, and relax you so that you can cope with life better. Now, this next one, some of you are probably going to giggle, but it's a fact, and we all know it. We all get a little bit mindless after sex. Yes, we do. We have to admit that, studies over and over have shown that orgasms release all kinds of endorphins and into the system, especially oxytocin, which encourages togetherness. It bonds mothers and children. It bonds couples as well. It also reduces stress. It can help with decreasing anxiety, increasing self-esteem. So enjoy. Hey, Marion, I am so glad to see you. Thank you for joining. So if you're looking for a cheap way and an enjoyable way to become a bit mindless, grab your partner and drag him or her off to bed. Have a little fun, get a little mindless. You'll de-stress and release a whole bunch of endorphins, which will do you a world of good. It's a free beauty treatment, trust me. What is it? Oh, you're asking what it was that's supposed to do that? Sex. That's what it is. No, these are remedies for to help you to declutter your brain. That's what I'm talking about. And that's one of my suggested remedies. Mindless endorphins, that's it. My next suggestion is a little bit more more prosaic. Yay, indeed. It's vitamin D. Now, vitamin D is very helpful in decreasing the levels of, especially as with winter is coming and the days are getting shorter, can help reduce symptoms of SAD or seasonal affective disorder, the winter blues. One year, when I was running a therapy project, I had but dozens, it seemed like, of people saying, "Oh, I'm so down, I'm so depressed." And I said, "Yes, it's SAD. You can do this, you can do that, the other." And then I realized, oh shit, I'm suffering with it myself. You really teach what you need to learn. So SAD or winter blues, there are different things that you can do about that, including getting portable lights that give you full spectrum light, like from sunlight or daylight. But taking vitamin D, particularly in northern hemisphere, especially this far north in northern Europe, taking supplements may be necessary because the vitamin D increases the level of dopamine and serotonin, which affects our moods, basically. Many people become depressed in the winter because of the lack of light. Now, as I said, supplements may be necessary, particularly for people who have dark skin or who may cover religious reasons, whatever the religion may be. The lack of vitamin D that is processed, synthesized through sunlight or daylight, is greatly decreased in the winter months, and people with darker skin or who are covered stand a greater chance of developing what used to be called rickets or osteoporosis. So it really is something you need to think about. And it's also, as I said, because of this vitamin D helps the brain synthesize serotonin and dopamine. It will also improve your mood and dump some of the negative feelings you may get in the wintertime. Now, let's see. My other suggestion is a digital detox. And that just means, there are people who can't bear to let go of their phones and they're actually getting burns because they're falling asleep with them in bed. They get brain fog because the microwaves are bombarding them day and night. Leave the phone in the sitting room somewhere. Please, 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 because it really does make a difference. If you're tired, you're not sleeping well, you're irritable, you're not firing on all cylinders, and you've got that damn phone clutched in your hand all the time, you're creating your own problem there. I'm telling you, I've dealt with so many clients who exhibit these symptoms, and I tell them, leave the phone in another room, sleep with it in another room, and quite often the symptoms disappear, or at least are greatly reduced. So, and even having your phone constantly pinging while you're sleeping isn't helping you. Yeah, get plenty of vitamin D in Spain. Great. Lucky you. My friend Marion, she's lovely. Love her to pieces. But having that phone pinging all night long is definitely not good for anything. I mean, think about it. You're reaching for your phone before you even reach for your partner sleeping next to you or your cup of coffee. What is that about? Your person lying next to you is less important than your phone that's pinging at you. At least stop the pinging. The messages will still be there. The world will not end because you didn't answer your phone the second it pings at you. Yeah? Give it a try. I know it's difficult. Separation anxiety is a terrible thing. I get that. But give it a try. At least if you put it in the other room, you can't hear it pinging, so you can't worry over it unless you choose to. And that's another thing. So, but what they're finding is that the overuse of our cell phones and mobile phones is causing widespread attention problems. In other words, everybody's suffering from attention deficit disorder, or ADD, and hyperactivity because I gotta look at my phone. I gotta look at my phone. It's pinging. Somebody's calling. Get, calm down. Calm down. They will still be there. Unless you're expecting an emergency call, it can wait. Declutter your brain. You are overloading yourself and creating a monster. And then you wonder why you can't, you can't think, you can't function, you can't get stuff done because you're constantly checking your phone. Give it a rest. Give your brain a rest. So those are my suggestions for how to declutter your brain. I'll also be attaching a link for, as I said earlier, crystals, healing crystals that you can use to not only beautify your space, but to help you to declutter, to kind of streamline your life so that it flows much more smoothly and happily. Anyway, thanks so much for listening. I hope you found that of use. If you have something to comment, please leave a comment. I'm always willing to respond. If you enjoyed it, send me some love hearts, some thumbs up, and share it. Share it. And if you disagree with anything I say, come on with it. Talk to me. I love a debate. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a lovely evening and a great week. Marion, have a great trip in Spain. Get some rays for me, and I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.